Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing something that I have been wanting to do for a very long time here on my channel, but I never had the courage to jump in and try something new. And in today's video that is exactly what we're doing. I'm jumping in, I'm trying something new. I love watching TV, okay? I love watching TV series, I love watching movies, I love reading books. And so for the longest time, I have thought it would be very fun to do get ready with me videos here on my channel, talking about new movies or new series or new books that are coming out. Maybe books not as much because that takes a long time to read them. And I barely allow myself time to read. I just read a little bit before bed every night, so it would take me a long time. But movies and TV series, reality shows too. I remember the last time I said maybe I should do that video was when I watched the last season of Love is Blind. Anyways, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing my makeup as usual, and we are going to be discussing a TV series. In today's case, you guys saw it in the title, we're going to be talking about Queen Charlotte, the Netflix series, which is a Bridgerton story. It's not the season 3 of Bridgerton, it's its own thing, but they basically placed the story of Queen Charlotte within the Bridgerton story. Please let me know what you think of this video. This is new to me, so your feedback would be appreciated. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what happens in the show. It's more so my reaction to what I watched in the show, the things that I loved and the things that I didn't understand or I didn't like. And I would love to start a discussion about any of these topics that I'll be talking about in today's video down in the comment section if you've watched the show. If you haven't, I recommend you watching it, and there will probably be some spoilers in here. Anyways, let me stop rambling. Let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, the brows are done, and I'm going to start by moisturizing. I have magic cream with me, and I'm just going to prep my skin for the makeup application with this one. I had a lot of different emotions come through when I watched Queen Charlotte. I thought the king and queen story was cute, but I didn't think it was overly romantic. There were a lot of not romantic things involved in their union. The show overall was of course very entertaining. There were also some very frustrating parts of it for me, and as a lot of you might have done at home, I definitely cried at the end of the series. If I had to rank it overall, and this is me being a harsh critic I think, because I did truly enjoy it, but if I had to rank it, I would probably rank it a 7.5, a 7.8 out of 10. And I'm telling you, I'm a very harsh critic because Game of Thrones is my all-time favorite series. I'm pretty sure I've watched it 4 times, and my ranking for Game of Thrones would be a 9.7. It's not a perfect 10, you know. I think it would be very hard for something to get a perfect 10. Actually, the only thing I've watched that I could probably rate a 10 out of 10 is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That movie is just perfection, but other than that, not even any of the other Harry Potter movies are a 10. Anyways, so I'm giving Queen Charlotte a 7.8. For today's look, I'm going to use the Into the Night palette by Glam Cosmetics. I believe this one's already available if you're interested. I'm going to be using my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer to prep my eyes. And I am blending it out with the BK Beauty A506 brush, which is one of my favorite BK Beauty brushes. By the way, BK Beauty is having a Mother's Day sale. I'll put the code for the discount right here on the screen, and you can save 20 to 30% off on their website. I'm leaving you the link to the sale down below in the description box. Anyways, the eyes are prepped and I'm about to start with the eyeshadow look. I wanted to also tell you that I'll be using new brushes that I wanted to try out. These are from What's Up Beauty. They sent me a whole bunch of eye brushes, and so I'll be using these in today's video. Back to Queen Charlotte. For anyone who hasn't watched the show, it is very loosely based on real people that existed. It is a fictional story that is made to fit within the Bridgerton world, and Bridgerton, by the way, is a completely made up novel. None of the Bridgerton characters existed as far as I'm concerned, but obviously Queen Charlotte and King George III were real people that existed in England a long time ago. And so even though this story is based on them, none of it is factual. Everything is made up. I think the only factual thing is probably their names and where they came from. I think one of my biggest issues with the show though is probably me just not liking the queen. Like, I just don't like her. I don't like her from Bridgerton, and I still don't like her that much here. I just don't get her. Hopefully I'm not pissing people off, but I feel like to a certain extent she just does not make sense, because she's this young, innocent 17-year-old girl who's very, very smart. She immediately realizes that something is going on with the king, that there's something that they're not telling her, and that there must be a reason why he didn't marry anyone from the court, and why they went to get her from Germany to marry the king, and why absolutely nobody would tell her about him, right? Like, something was definitely going on, something was fishy there. Then she ends up meeting him. He is really cute, very, very charming, and so she decides, of course, to go ahead and marry him. She's put in a very uncomfortable situation that she did not ask for, and she is left alone and has help from nobody. Yet I find that she continues to be kind of a very selfish character. And even when she eventually falls in love with the king and like tries to help him with the issues that he had, which was mental illness, I'm rambling on and on. It just doesn't make sense to me that that person that loves and cares so deeply for the king is the same one who is constantly asking whether or not he already died. Like, she's just waiting for him to die ever since season 1 of Bridgerton. And so I feel like I'm looking at two different people instead of the same people, from Bridgerton season 1 to this story that they made exclusively about her. However, they did leave some parts about her being extremely selfish and someone who like doesn't have feelings. Like, she doesn't even care that her granddaughter died. The only thing that she cares about is like the lineage and having someone to leave the crown to. She's not compassionate towards her son who lost a daughter. She's not close to her kids. So how can somebody who acts like that and is so superficial in society overall care so deeply about the king? And if she truly were to care for him that much, then how come she's always asking whether or not he died? So those are some of the things that don't make sense to me in regards to the king and queen's relationship. But I can just kind of take it as she is a complex person and I simply just don't understand her, and that all of these random character traits can be true of one person. At the end of the day, there's a reason that they said that they're meant for one another. She is also a complex human being, right? So let's move past that and let's talk about the servants relationship, because there was a couple of things that didn't make much sense there. First of all, I loved them, loved the servants relationship. I thought it was really cute. They definitely both lived to serve their king and queen respectively. They barely had time for themselves to do anything. They never married. Obviously they were, you know, with one another, but still. So let's go to the things that didn't make sense there. I'm going to use the Rare Beauty primer next. Obviously everything I'm going to be using in today's video is listed and linked down below, so if you have any questions about anything or if I forget to mention anything, you can check out the links in the description box. Back to the servants, and in regards to their relationship, personally, I need closure. What happened to the king's servant? Did I miss an episode? He just disappeared. There's never an older version of him. I want to know what happened. How did he die? Like, what? The only clue we have to the fact that he passed away somehow is the queen's servant, and I apologize, I did not learn their names, dancing alone in one of the last episodes at the end of the series almost, and thinking of the time that they had danced together. So obviously something happened. Obviously the queen's servant is still in love with the king's servants, but what happened to him? I demand closure because their story I thought was really cute. Although they truly lived to serve, they never put one another or their love above their duty for their king and queen. So me not having closure is definitely something that I wanted to complain about. But then besides that, back to the king's servant alone, how exactly did he lose all access to the king? He was supposed to be the king's shadow. Everywhere the king went, he went 10 steps behind or whatever, just like the queen's servant was to her. And then there is this point in the series where he apparently has not been able to see the king for days because the letters keep accumulating, right? So these evil doctors are not letting him have access to the king for days. So I kind of didn't understand how the king didn't have any other duties besides getting treatment. Like, did he never have to make decisions in regards to anything? Did he not have any duties at all? I guess technically his mother was kind of covering for him, but it just seemed strange that like he could spend all of this time being tortured by this doctor who was supposedly trying to cure him, right? And that nobody could have access to him. That to me, very bizarre. Very glad that the queen caught on and that she got him out of that terrible situation. Which, by the way, the king himself asked to be put in that situation, but then he couldn't get out of it. By the way, I realized I've sounded very negative about the series ever since I started the video, and I do have things that I absolutely love about it. I'm just kind of getting all of the sour things out first, and then I'll talk about all of my favorite things. Let's keep talking about some things that made no sense to me though. One of the main things that I was like, that doesn't happen, right? Was when the king first got sick and he was kind of in this mental trance for a couple of days, right? And his mother was doing the absolute most to get him help and to get him a doctor that would cure him. And this doctor, this evil doctor that I previously talked about, came along and he like slaps him, reminds him that he is King George, and all of a sudden he is back to his normal self. He is cured. Somehow that 3-second treatment of the slap and reminding him who he is was all the king needed to come back to being himself. Now, I feel like I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to mental health issues. I read somewhere that the real King George might have had like bipolar disorder or something like that, right? But I'm pretty sure that that's not how you get someone out of that situation. I don't know, like I said, I'm no doctor, but that just seems like too simple of a thing to do. Anybody could have done that. So from the get-go, I didn't love the doctor, but also I just thought that the way that they showed the doctor's abilities was kind of silly. Here is one more thing I just thought of. I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer that I haven't used in ages, by the way. So as I said before, the king himself requests a more intense treatment from this doctor, and after he requests that treatment, we see that he can't get out of it. And also, I don't know that he's trying that much to get out of it. He's just kind of out of it in general. Like mentally, he's out of it while he is receiving the treatment. But then when he finally kind of gets rescued and he gets put out of that horrible situation that he was in, and his mother is informed by the doctor. His mother was freaking evil to me, by the way. I did not like that lady at all. She was despicable. So once she gets informed, she like gets upset about it. And I don't know, it's not clear to me whether she knew the intensity of his treatment that he was getting, because when she hired the doctor, she hired him for regular treatment. The king himself asked for that treatment to be escalated. And I don't know that the mother ever knew that. It's not clear to me whether he knew how badly her son was being treated, you know? So now let's get to the part of the show that I truly enjoyed the most. The story within the story that was my absolute favorite, and the thing that I always looked forward the most to watching, and that was Lady Danbury's story. First of all, I love the character of Lady Danbury from Bridgerton. She's like this badass lady that has all of this power and all of this success and all of this confidence about her. And in this show, we get to see how she became Lady Danbury and where she came from and how her story began, and like the struggles she had to overcome in order to become the strong character that we know from Bridgerton. I loved her story, and I love that her story shows how strong of character she is. I personally love stories of smart, self-sufficient women who like do everything they can to fight for themselves and for their family. And in Lady Danbury's case, she did both. She fought for herself and her position, and she really fought alone for it in many ways, but she fought not just for her but for her family, even when she was married to this person that she like absolutely loathed. She couldn't stand him, and nobody can blame her for it, right? It was definitely very hard to watch how she did her duty to her husband, and how miserable she was in that situation. I'm not sure what actor plays her husband on the show, but you can see that they like did things to his face to like make him look a lot worse than he looks in real life. And she was so young. She was like a teenager, probably like 18, and she had to be with that very old guy, right? That was super loud and that did with her as he pleased, that didn't let her speak at all, that didn't value her as a wife, as a woman, or as someone who could even think, right? And to think that without him even valuing her at all, she put him in the position that they were able to acquire. Because at first they only gave them titles, they didn't give them the rest of the stuff that she ended up acquiring for their family. Also, I love that for the most part, she truly tried to be the queen's friend above her personal status and her personal gain. Like, yes, in some aspects she kind of used the queen a little bit to win some of her battles, but it was really never in a way that it affected the queen in any type of way. I also love that even though the story wasn't about the Bridgerton family at all, they still included them somehow in the story because of the special relationship that Lady Danbury had with young Lady Bridgerton's father. Also, Lady Bridgerton's mom was really freaking annoying. I'm glad she took after her father because wow. I would say this look is coming along. I really like the way this is turning out. The lashes definitely make everything better. Too bad I don't have nice glamorous hair to match it. All I have is this bun situation going on, but I gotta say I really love the sparkle that this Glaminatrix palette gave my eyes. So anyways, the whole story of Lady Danbury, 10 out of 10. It was definitely my favorite thing about the show, and I also love that she ended up not marrying the queen's brother because first of all she would have been taken away from London because he lived in Germany, but second of all, he did not deserve her. In fact, he didn't even deserve the queen. He kind of just like sold her off and left her alone and didn't even say goodbye to her. How shitty was that? He didn't even say goodbye to her after she got married to the king. I thought that was freaking disrespectful. That made me angry. Anyways, thank you so much for letting me get all of my thoughts on this new Netflix series out, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about it, or if you even like this video idea. We'll see. I'm trying something new. If everybody hates it, you just won't see another video like this one. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching today's video. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or by leaving me a comment down below. I would love to know if you watched it, whether or not you liked the Queen Charlotte show, and your overall thoughts on it. So I'll definitely be reading the comments as usual. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're interested in any of these products, they are all listed and linked down below in the description box. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.